The following program is brought to you by Jack Miller.
It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Forget what they teach you in school. This is real life, not Wall Street, but Main Street. A real show on what's really involved with starting and running a business with all the ups and downs. Our guests will answer your questions and provide you with valuable information. Stay tuned and join in the conversation.
When the earth was created,
Hello, everyone. This is Jack Miller. Thank you for joining us this Thursday at 3 o'clock and wherever you're listening to us on the Internet. I've noticed that more and more people are listening to us on the Internet. In fact, I was super excited last night. I went online and I saw there was like 10 or 15 people listening to us.
It's amazing. We're up from like 3 or 4 people to 10 or 15.
With that, everyone... Todd, how are you? Todd Cohen?
I'm doing great, Jack.
Good.
How are you doing?
You know what? On that line, I have really exciting news. We are now not only on the Internet, we're on iTunes.
Oh, we're being picked up nationally now?
Well, we were always nationally, internationally. Believe it or not, listeners from Brazil, Russia, China, all over the place, all over the world. But we're now on iCloud or iTunes.
That's great.
So that's pretty cool.
I love podcasts.
We're podcasting.
Yeah.
We don't know what the heck we're doing. We're podcasting. But
it's all good.
It's all good. So you having a good week, Todd?
I'm having a great week.
I don't know the details, but I heard Tom Brady is having a super great week. I heard that he came out victorious in his fight with the NFL.
Not very surprising. I mean, they didn't have the evidence. They never did. It was all circumstantial. And if you use real judges in real courts of law, unlike the little court they have in the NFL, then that stuff gets overturned. You remember they used to have a court underneath the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, by the way?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Hilarious. Clown court.
Well, don't get me started. The whole there. I hear you. Todd, I use the show as I think you know, and my wife knows, and our audience know, as like instead of going to a psychiatrist. So I have some deep-seated psychoses, or I don't know what's the difference between a psychosis and a neurosis.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Either way, I got them both, but I got a lot of issues. So I want to tell you about one. Hopefully, it'll relieve some of my stress. I have all kinds of issues with touching people and like touching food and restaurant, and I have all these rules and rituals. I just can't stand sometimes to touch people.
So you're a germaphobe.
I'm a germaphobe.
Like Howie Mandel level germaphobe, Howard Stern, that type of?
I don't know, except you know what it is? When you're making like $1 billion a year, it's like it gives you personality. When you're a schlubber like me, I just get myself in trouble because of it.
I'll tell you, the germs are all over money.
I know.
Dollar bills, $100 bills, $20 bills.
It's terrible. And you talk about that. Many years ago, I worked for my father-in-law's. He had a clothing business, and Christmas time, people used to come in, but they'd be sweating, and they would take their money. I helped them at Christmas a few seasons, take it out of their breasts.
Oh, God.
And pay you, and you'd have to give them change. It was disgusting. And no one ever looks good when they're doing this.
The only time that's okay is in a gentleman's club.
No.
And even then, I am not that fond of...
My brother-in-law runs the business. This is in the Berlin Farmers Market in Berlin, New Jersey. No, nothing good there.
Right.
Nothing good there.
So, like, what are some things that really gross you out in terms of...
We only have so long, but I'll give you a couple of them. First of all, do you ever kiss an old lady? You cheek kiss her. You walk away. You have so much makeup on your face. It's disgusting.
Yes.
So I can't stand that. If it was me, there'd be only pounding and elbowing or whatever.
How about strangers or even people in your family peripherally who give you those real wet, juicy kisses?
I can't stand it. I don't want to touch anyone. I don't want to kiss anyone. I don't even like, you know what? I can't stand to touch menus. Do you ever go in to touch a breakfast menu? There's syrup on the menu.
Oh, so nasty.
There's scrambled eggs on the menu. It's just disgusting.
Right.
And I have to what my ritual is as soon as I'm done with the menu, which I barely touch, I have to go wash my hands before I eat. So then if somebody comes and they put out their hand like during your halfway through your meal, I have to leave again and go wash my hands.
Right. If you're having a business lunch and everyone shakes your hand, do you have to go wash your hands after that?
Are you kidding me? Do you ever go to lunch with someone, and I'm sure this happens to you all the time, and they're eating this big, juicy hamburger. They're licking their fingers.
Oh, licking fingers is a no-no.
And then they go to shake your hands.
Right.
It's terrible.
Right.
Even-
or if people sneeze or cough before, I can't touch someone after that.
I'm the same way. And they do. Where are their hands? They're up their noses. They're in their ears. They're playing with or adjusting their male genitalia.
Oh, God.
It's just disgusting.
I lived in New York for 10 years, and I used to take the subway to and from work and various other places, and I would not touch anything on the subway, to the point where in the crowded cattle cars that were the morning commute or the afternoon commute, I would lean against like one of the metal poles and not touch it. And people got mad at me because every time the train would jerk back and forth, I would move.
I know I'd like
but
you.
I would not touch. And they have those handle ones above people, but I wouldn't even use those because then you have to like sort of get in front of someone, put your crotch in their face, and that was its own.
And then going to
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but going to the bathroom has all kinds of other rituals.
Right.
I won't touch anything. I don't even, by the way, I won't even touch the, what are the flusher things? What are they called?
Right. Thank God for the manual. It's not manual anymore. It's like automated.
Yeah. But in my house, I won't touch them. I won't touch my doorknob in my house.
Right.
It's just crazy.
I like the new trend that restaurants and some other places have had of putting a trash can in between the two doors
Yes,
that they have.
I like that.
So that you can bring the napkin, hold the napkin while you open both doors, and then throw it out on your way out the second door. That's a classy move because they know. I mean, in one direction, you're going to have to touch a door.
I don't know who invented this touching thing, but if it was up to me, there'd be less touching in society.
Right. Now, when you use a cup in a restaurant, like a glass or something, do you use a straw or do you drink right from the
straw? And half the time I'm sending the glasses back because they have someone's lipstick on it.
Oh, so nasty.
And, by the way, there was a period in my life many, many years ago where I used to bring my own silverware to the restaurants.
Now you're getting into as good as it gets, Jack Nicholson.
Which is really screwed up.
Yeah, that's something, a whole nother level.
You're having soup, and you're sucking on the spoon. The guy next to you was sucking on the same spoon. I might as well just like French kiss this guy.
I mean, there's something to be said for hot water and soap. I mean, I'm okay with that as long as they actually use the dishwasher.
I think that's
right.
I think that's the big thing, as long as they actually use it. But anyway, well, I appreciate you indulging me in this. I must say I got a little stress relieved by it. I feel better. Or one more thing before. What about you go out to dinner on a Saturday night with another couple, there's a loaf of bread, and everyone's touching the loaf of bread.
Oh, that's nasty.
They're breaking it up.
How do you go on like an airplane? Because that's the nastiest thing to me, is everything about an airplane.
Airplane, literally someone sneezes behind you. You see their sneeze fly through the air.
Well, it's reprocessed air. It's all getting recycled up there.
I don't know. I think they're going to have to put me in a straitjacket, just like keep me in my bed. I got so many issues. But anyway, back to reality. Back to reality. I appreciate it. I feel like I could skip my psychiatrist or psychologist this week, and next week we'll talk about one of my other issues.
No, we made some good progress today, Jack. Thanks for coming in, and that'll be $200.
You're good. The problem is I have so many issues and so many rituals in my life. Like, everything is a ritual with me. It drives my wife crazy. You can't do this, you can't do that, but whatever.
Right.
Anyway, I found this guy online. We're going to play a motivational minute by him. His name is Derek Clark, and I think this guy is really inspiring. I don't know his whole story. I would encourage everyone to Google him and go to his Facebook page or his Google page or whatever it's called and listen to him on YouTube. He apparently had a very traumatic childhood. His parents abandoned him. He was abused. There was just all kinds of nasty stuff going on. And he puts out a series of really these great motivational minutes. And let's play Derek Clark, can we? And then we'll talk about Derek after.
And I also learned to not let the inner me become the enemy. You go after your dreams. Don't let the little thing inside of you tell you, oh, you're not good enough, oh, you're not pretty enough, oh, you're not tall enough, or you're not short enough, or you're not skinny enough. No. You have a dream that's been put inside of you. You go for that dream. You have to find something within you that fulfills you. Something within you. Every one of you has a story. Every one of you has greatness. You were born with it. The most important opinion you should have in this life is the opinion of yourself, not what other people think about you. My life has changed drastically Because when I started finding value within myself, I realized that I could help others. And let me break it down for you real simple. HOPE. This is a Derek Clark acronym. HOPE. Helping one person every day. HOPE. And when you share hope, greatness comes even more. Greatness comes through your character. Greatness comes through adversity, overcoming adversity. In order for you to be great in this world, you got to overcome the weakness. Never let your weakness destroy your greatness. Never limit yourself. But I learned it's not about my IQ, it's about my I will. I learned it's not about how much smarts I have, it's about how much heart I have. Well, thank you. Now, I can tell you that a GPA like that limits you. But I'm telling you that those are the greatest numbers for me because my mom dropped out in the 8th grade and my dad dropped out in 9th. So I'm the first one in my family to break the cycle. And say that I am better than my mom and dad, that I'm not defined by my parents' mistakes, I'm not defined by my mistakes. I own me. I define me, right? You define you. You define you. Now you step up and own yourself. You step up. This is your life.
What struck me the most when he says we need to overcome our weaknesses, and we can't be defined by our weaknesses, but by our greatness, and we own our lives. Because so many of us, we've talked about this time and time. We all have had problems and histories, and bad things happen to us, and we got to overcome it, and we just can't carry around this baggage on our shoulders, and he's a great example of it. So I would encourage everyone to Google Derek Clark and listen to him. With that, you ready for our first guest?
I am so ready. On the edge of my seat.
We have a guy by the name of Brett Elam on the phone. Brett, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Brett, thanks for joining us. Brett, I want to set the stage and introduce everyone. Brett is a bankruptcy attorney in South Florida. I'm going to say, Brett, you're the best-in-class bankruptcy attorney in South Florida, and I know how much you fight for your clients and you take their needs seriously. So I appreciate you taking your time to be there today.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to be here.
And Brett has a big fan club. I put him up on Facebook that he's coming. He got like a couple hundred likes, people. So it's because he has I put it, your picture, Brett. You're an attractive guy. I'm not trying to pick you up, but you're a good-looking guy, and everyone likes you. So,
it must be the bow tie.
It could be.
Jack spreads man love every show. I love it.
I would spread woman love. I'm non-discriminatory with my love.
No, when we had Sydney on, you were totally undiscriminatory.
Brett, before we start, I have a bunch of questions for you about bankruptcy and some of the stuff you do, because there's a lot of people suffering in our country right now, and I know that you can help them. But first, can you give out your contact information? That way, if anyone wants to get you or contact you, they can. They know how the best way to.
Yeah, sure. My phone number is 561-833-1113. My website is www.brettelamlaw.com, and that's BRETTELAMLAW.com.
Great. Brett, let me jump into it. You focus I want to talk to you about how you help people when they get in financial trouble. First, I want to set the stage that the whole country seems as in financial trouble or has been in financial trouble. And the truth is the government would be long gone and most big companies would be long gone. And I want to reinforce to everyone that it's not a sin to get into financial trouble. It's a sin to beat yourself up for getting into financial trouble. And if you could maybe just tell everyone a little bit, and we have about a minute before the break. Then after the break, I want to come back and ask you questions. But tell everyone how you help people and what you do for people.
Well, generally, Jack, what we do is we analyze their financial condition at the time that we see them. We see if there's any way to get around what's going on, if it was a catastrophic event or if it's just lack of income. And then we advise them whether they should go through with a bankruptcy. And then we look at what chapter.
So what's the difference between, again, we only have 30 seconds, and if you can't answer, or maybe give people a high level, what's the difference between a Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13? Just high level, then when we get to that, back to the break, we'll break it down a little bit more.
Well, a Chapter 7, Jack, is generally for unsecured debt, and Chapter 13 is to reorganize your secured debt and retain your assets.
So if someone has a lot of credit card bills, they would go for a Chapter 7, and if they have a lot of assets, they would go for a Chapter 13. Is that the essence of it?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, Brett, with that, stay with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes. I apologize. I have to take a quick break. Then we're going to jump into some real good questions for you.
Don't turn that dial. We will be right back.
Are you tired of dealing with unreliable banks and brokers who charge upfront fees and never deliver on their promises? You don't have to. Gelt Financial Corporation has been in business since 1989 and offers a stated income loan program for non-owner-occupied residential and commercial real estate investors. No tax returns required. What are you waiting for? Call Gelt Financial right now at 561-221-0900. Again, that's 561-221-0900. 561-221-0900.
Did you invest in a non-liquid real estate partnership? Do you want and need liquidity? There's finally an answer. Quick Liquidity is a direct buyer of real estate minority interest and tenants in common investments across the country. To find out if we would buy your non-liquid investment, call us at 561-221-0881 or visit us at quickliquidity.com. That's quickliquidity.com. If you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate, call attorney Dan Kaskow, 561-237-6822. Mr. Kaskow is board certified by the Florida Bar as an expert in real estate law. He's been practicing law for more than 20 years and is a partner in the law firm of Sachs Kaplan with offices in Boca Raton and Tallahassee. Dan Kaskow handles real estate, corporate, condominium, and homeowner association matters throughout Florida. From residential purchases and sales, bulk buying and selling of condominium units, to purchases and sales of commercial properties. Contact attorney Dan Kaskow at 561-237-6822 for your real estate, corporate, and community association legal needs. Attorney Dan Kaskow, 561-237-6822. Non-attorney spokesperson for attorney Dan Kaskow.
South Florida's only business radio station.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
880 AM, The Biz. Welcome back to It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Call us at 305-541-2350. Follow us on Facebook at Jack Miller Down to Business or on Twitter at HJackMiller1.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jack Miller. I'm here in studio with Todd Cohen, our main commercial cornerman, and our very lovely producer, Bonita Senorita Ingrid. And on the phone is Brett Elam. Brett, thanks for sticking with us on the break.
No problem.
So we were talking about before, Chapter 7 is if you have a lot of unsecured debt. Chapter 13, if I'm categorizing it right, if you have assets, it helps you keep them. When should somebody come and see you? In other words, when is the point or the line they cross where they have too much debt, where they can't deal with it anymore, that they need someone of your expertise to help them out?
Well, there's different times when someone should come to see us, but generally come to see us when the calls and collection letters are just too overwhelming. When the phone rings and you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach, thinking it was a debt collector, that's when you need to call.
So is it better to come earlier rather than later, I assume?
Yes, that's one of the major complaints that I have, or people have the stigma attached to bankruptcy as it was in the past. So they just put it off, and they still think of it as this scarlet letter, and it's not any longer. And the sooner you get it taken care of, the sooner you can start to financial freedom.
Is there a dollar amount, and I apologize for peppering you with questions, I just have so many of them. Is there a dollar amount where someone that's too great, where somebody should come see and seek help with? In other words, if they have X dollars of credit cards or something like that, or is it really just depend on the individual?
Well, it really depends on the individual, and really it depends on your income is what the main goal or main factor is in determining when you should come see us. At the end of the month, if you don't have money to pay the normal living necessities, it's time to come see us.
What do you do, or are people cases for bankruptcy if, let's say, they're paying their bills okay, but I know of someone who's in this situation, they didn't have insurance and they got maybe my number's wrong, like a $110,000 bill from the hospital for the guy, whatever, had a heart attack.
That is definitely something that could be included within a Chapter 7 discharge.
So it doesn't have to be every bill. It could be just one bill they can deal with. Then they would come and talk to you.
Exactly.
How does it work if you're married and let's say one spouse has a problem, but the other spouse doesn't?
Well, other than divorce?
Yeah. Other than divorce or anything like that. I'm strictly talking financially.
Okay. Well, if one spouse is in trouble and one is not, it doesn't matter. That one spouse can file, and it will not affect the second or the other spouse. I actually have several cases of the exact same set of facts right now.
Gotcha. And how long does the whole process take? Let's say I would have, whatever, $20,000 in credit card bills, and I don't have a job, and medical bills. How long does it take to go through the whole bankruptcy process from beginning to end?
Well, in a Chapter 7, you have 90 days from the petition date, which is when you basically file your bankruptcy. 90 days later, it's over, and you have your discharge, which is basically you don't have to pay the debt any longer. Now, Chapter 13 is a little different because generally you're trying to reorganize secured mortgage debt, and it takes a little longer. There's a payment plan that's implemented, but you generally receive your discharge between 3 to 5 years later.
So it's a pretty quick process.
Very quick.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
I have a question.
Yep.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for joining us today. When you drive in your car or watch infomercials on TV, there seems to be a constant barrage of credit consolidators and people who advertise that they'll help you if you're in debt and that kind of thing. First of all, are any of them legit? And second of all, do you have any that you would stay away from or recommend to people?
I really don't have any specific names that I would stay away from. But recently, probably 2009, the Schumer bill was passed, and it has greatly restricted credit consolidation companies. And if you go to a credit consolidation company and they're not affiliated with an attorney, it's probably in violation of the Schumer bill, and I wouldn't stop.
So a lot of them seem like a little sleazy or scammy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you also, too, have to think that for it to be successful, you have to have a pool of money that you can pull from to settle these debts or to consolidate them, because really all they're doing is they take individual creditors and give them a lump sum to satisfy them.
Hello? Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened. We had some technical difficulties. So,
okay, thank you for that.
They're better off calling you. Brett, I have another thing I want to talk about, and that is what's life like after a bankruptcy discharge? When I speak to people, I get the impression that they think that they're traumatized, that they're going to be affected. They can't get credit by cars or houses or something for forever. And I know that you can rebuild up your credit score and really get back in the market pretty quick.
Yes, the stigma with bankruptcy, it's not like it was 10, 15 years ago. Now, there are special lenders that they specialize in lending to people that are even some in active bankruptcies. Also, it goes on a lender-by-lender basis, and also it would depend upon if it's going to be a traditional government-backed loan or something like that. Might be a little bit longer after discharge to obtain, but there's always something out there.
And I think there's active things people can do, like secured credit cards, to reestablish their credit during and after bankruptcy.
That's one of the things that I advise in post-bankruptcy counseling would be to obtain a secured credit card and to use that to increase your credit score, and then get a small card, run it to close to the limit, and then pay off a portion of it. But make sure you do it responsibly.
Gotcha. Brett, we got to take a break, and I feel bad that this segment's over. You were fantastic. Could you give everyone out your contact information and your website? That way our listeners can contact you directly.
Yeah, sure. It's my phone number is 561-833-1113. The website is www.brettelamlaw.com, and it's BRETTELAMLAW.com, and my email is just BELAM@brettelamlaw.com.
Gotcha. Anything that we have like 30 seconds left before we have to take a hard traffic break to tell everyone there's a lot of traffic in Miami. But anything that that I missed that you want to cover real quick?
No, Jack, I think you did a great job. I just would like to stress that if anybody's out there that is experiencing any of the financial struggles that we just discussed or we named, if any of those are there, don't wait. It's not embarrassing to come talk to somebody. That is the hardest part, is to make the decision to talk to somebody. Once you make that decision, it's all over. You're there.
And there's no more stigma to it. Financial freedom, I think, is a big thing.
Exactly.
And I know. I think once they go to you, people are going to be able to sleep at night a lot better.
That's one of the things that I require of my clients, is that they don't worry anymore. That's why they're retaining me.
Brett, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. Everyone else, if you could stick around for a very quick commercial break, we'll be back in about 3 minutes. Brett, thank you again. We'll have to have you on more time when we have more time. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back.
Do you need long-term real estate financing? Gelb Financial is located right here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and provides 30-year terms with no balloon payment whatsoever on non-owner occupied residential and commercial real estate. With a minimum loan amount of only $75,000 all the way up to $5 million, we provide common sense underwriting and quick closings. We don't require tax returns whatsoever. Call right now at 561-221-0900. Again, that's 561-221-0900.
Did you invest in a non-liquid real estate partnership? Do you want and need liquidity? There's finally an answer. Quick Liquidity is a direct buyer of real estate minority interest and tenants in common investments across the country. To find out if we would buy your non-liquid investment, call us at 561-221-0881 or visit us at quickliquidity.com. That's quickliquidity.com. And now, 880 The Biz Traffic.
Good afternoon. Right now, traffic congestion on 95 northbound from 195 up to 119th Street. On the Dolphin, it's slow traffic westbound between 17th Avenue and the Palmetto. As we head over to the Palmetto, it's slow rolling traffic northbound from Bird Road to the Dolphin. For more traffic, follow us on Twitter at Total Traffic MIA.
This is the Wall Street Business Network.
South Florida's only business radio station, 880 AM, The Biz. Welcome back to It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Call us at 305-541-2350. Follow us on Facebook at Jack Miller Down to Business or on Twitter at HJackMiller1.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. This is Jack Miller again, along with my partner in, I don't want to say crime, in talk showing, Todd Cohen. How you doing, Todd?
Good, Jack. Great to be here,
Good.
as always.
By the way, thank you for our previous guest on the show. It was great to have Brent on the show. People get in trouble, they need him. But really, our next guest is what the show is about. Can you put Ross on?
Hello?
Hey, Ross, it's Jack and Todd. How are you?
What's up, Jack and Todd? I'm doing well. I'm in California right now.
I know. I want to introduce you to the world. On the show, on the line from California, hopefully it's sunny California, is Ross Burrar. Ross owns and started a company called Dependable Packaging Solutions, which is a local Miami-based company. And Ross, really, you are what the show is about. It's about someone starting a business, surviving different economic times, and making it. And I want to talk about the process and the journey, if that's okay with you.
Sounds great.
First of all, how was the flight in from California? It was good?
Couldn't be better. We used our miles, so we got booted up to first class, and we were treated like kings.
Okay, good. So why don't you tell everyone first about Dependable Packaging Solutions and how did you start it up? Maybe give everyone a little background.
Originally, we were from New York, the big city, and I had a family member, an uncle of ours, who had a manufacturing company in Miami that manufactured corrugated boxes. So myself and my business partner, we worked for him for 7 to 8 years, and it was going down not the best path. So what we decided to do is we decided to start our own business, and we put our heads together, and we got every penny we had. We made a deal with the bank, and we started Dependable Packaging Solutions.
And what products do you sell, and how do you sell them?
Well, right now we're the largest distributor of packaging supplies in the state of Florida, privately owned. So we sell everything you need for packaging, whether it's bubble wrap, whether it's corrugated boxes, tape, all the janitorial supplies as well. So we are a total solution. So we go into our customers and we try to sell them A to Z and try to retain all their business.
Are you selling wholesale or retail or both?
We sell distribution as well as we sell manufacturers. Mm-hmm. So, if we do a lot of produce business. So if you have a company that grows tomatoes in Homestead, Florida, we would supply them with the boxes, the glue, everything they need to pack their produce.
The tape. How has the internet changed your business? In other words, when so many businesses have been affected and really fallen by the wayside because things have become commodities, how have you guys changed, or how has the internet affected you, and what have you changed to do to stay competitive in this market?
The internet in general in our business is very important, but we have not done what we want to do. We're in the process right now of building the best website we could possibly build. So the strategy with the internet right now is that we're building a terrific website that's very easy to use. As well, we're going to have a portal on the website so our customers could order right online, and that seems to be the way to go.
So, do you think the internet has pilfered some of your customers, and have you lost customers, or a decent amount of it because of the internet, or it hasn't affected you that much?
I would say that it hasn't affected us that much, but we're getting to a point where everybody's jumping on board and building portals, and you have companies like Uline, which are national companies that, people, it's very simple to buy on. So what we really do is most of our marketing is pretty much salespeople on the road, basically going door to door and introducing themselves to prospective customers, and that's how right now we get most of our business.
Gotcha. The old just salespeople. What's the big challenge in your business? Is it personnel? Is it product? Is it margin compression? Distribution? What do you think the couple big challenges or big obstacles are at this time in your business?
Basically, competition. You have the market of South Florida, which is good, is growing. Growing faster than probably any economy in the country right now. So you have a lot of people that want to get out of New York or Chicago or, cold weather, Montreal or Canada. So you have a lot of businesses moving down. So there's really not a lot of space available, not a lot of space to rent, which is good because that means there are companies in there that need our supplies. But competition's pretty fierce. Margins are pretty, intense as well because everybody's out there trying to cut each other's prices. So margins and just good employees, good employees that do their jobs.
How hard is it to get good salespeople?
Honestly, that's the hardest part of the business. Sales and packaging and boxes, it's not a sexy thing to graduate from a good college, University of Miami, and go on the streets and sell packaging supplies. So what happened is when we started Dependable Packaging, we already had 10 to 15 salespeople that were working for the current company that we were working for, but everyone jumped on board with us. The biggest thing with us is to keep the wind in the salespeople's sails. Keep people happy, keep people motivated, and sky's the limit.
Gotcha.
Hey, Ross, it's Todd. How you doing?
What's up, Todd?
A couple of questions. You Dependable Packaging Solutions, which, by the way, for a little plug for your company, it really is a total solution for all of people's business needs. They're there when you need them. They do custom orders, and they're really good at what they do. They work in the produce industry, the floral industry, and then all of distribution and manufacturing industries and small warehouses and large warehouses all over the state and, frankly, all over the country. You're out in California right now shaking the branches and getting some business from over there. I know that, and that's great. You're largely in a distribution business, and you have your products manufactured for you, and you distribute them, so you have a warehouse. A lot of people aren't familiar with how the warehousing and distribution industries work and seldom get the opportunity to go in and tour a warehouse. Why don't you explain to our listeners, how you go out for site selection, what you need, what the trucking requirements are, how you maintain your trucking fleet. Do you lease? Do you own? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, with the trucking, we do lease. We currently have 9 trucks on the road, 53-footers as well as 26-footers to get into some smaller areas. When it comes to warehousing, our first warehouse was 30,000 square feet. We grew out of that, and we went to 60,000 square feet. And currently, our warehouse is 120,000 square feet. Like you had said, we are distributors as well as importers. So we do a tremendous amount of import from China, Thailand, basically Central America. So we do a lot of import, and we bring that in. And the big issue really, again, is space, because half of our business is corrugated boxes for shipping, and corrugated boxes take up a tremendous amount of space. So it's all in the efficiency of how you run the business and manage it.
It seems what you said is getting salespeople is a bit of a challenge in the boxing industry, and I have to tell you, I hear that from every industry. And it seems to me that human capital, or getting people, especially in South Florida, maybe I think all over the place, we have the same problem in Philadelphia, is everyone's biggest challenge. How do you? And you said you have to keep their, I think the words were, wins in their sails, and that's, I like that. You got to keep them happy and keep them pumped up. What are some of the things you do to retain good people and keep them motivated so they have energy every day to go out and keep hustling and keep selling?
Great question. And what we do is, we really believe in our people, and that's why we could be in California right now, and the place doesn't skip a beat. So we have excellent management. But me and my business partner, Dan, we basically work with the salespeople. So we're like master managers, and we really help them in every facet of business. Every day I'm on the road with a different salesperson, going to the accounts with them, and building up their confidence. So if you put someone on the road and they're just driving by themselves in 100-degree weather, knocking down doors, they're not going to enjoy it. But when you go out with the salespeople, they really seem to do well. And the customer or the purchase agent really respects the fact that I'm there with them, and being with them, I can decide on the spot anything that I would like to get done. So, with me or my partner being with the salespeople, we could give prices on the spot, and we could work with the customers really well.
So you have to be hands-on, and I always said, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, I'm curious to get your opinion. In order to be successful in business, you really have to micromanage and be involved in it in every level, especially down in the weeds, the small things, because the small things can grow real quickly, and it sounds like you're doing that.
Yeah, it is, but, the most important is putting good people around you, and the good people will stay with you if you show them the respect. And what I've seen, including myself, I've been through the experiences, when people aren't treating you right, when people aren't giving you, the right payments that they tell you they're going to give you, and it really affects wanting to work. So, like we said, it takes the wind out of your sail, and you're already looking for the next job. So, we want people that work for us to really enjoy what they do.
So
every day isn't a diamond, but that's our goal.
So Ross, the growth that you basically implied earlier when you said you started out in a 30,000 square foot warehouse and are now in 120,000 feet. That sounds amazing. How do you learn how to manage the growth, and what steps do you take as you grow as a company to sort of grow into that bigger space? I'm sure you need new, warehouse managers, coordinators of some sort, and people to help out that you delegate to in certain ways. How do you manage that, and how do you figure out how to do that on the fly?
It's basically been organic growth. We haven't, we've made some acquisitions in companies, but we don't really buy the companies. There are situations where companies are not doing well, and the salespeople from that company, they can't afford to buy their products, so we take them in, which works out very well for us. In terms of growth, we've gotten, like we said, the bigger locations. We started in 30, now 60, now 120,000 square feet. And we've done a huge project with racking. The racking in particular has really added 30 to 40% of space in the warehouse. So that makes us efficient. As well, we made sure when we got our building to not only have a big building, but have a big yard. So I have a 7-acre yard that I have anywhere from 40 to 50 trucks of all different products stored in them, for any given day. So that helps us our efficiency.
Big number, big square footage. What percent of your expense do you spend on sales costs, personnel, or sales to make the to drive the sale home?
Well, the sales are all based on commission. So that's the best part about working for our company is really sky's the limit. If you pick up the right account, you can make as much money as you dream to make.
Are you giving guys bases?
Yeah, well, what we do is we do draws. So, let's say somebody is bringing in a certain amount of revenues, whatever that revenue is, we'll give them a weekly paycheck basically every single week, and then we hope that they do more sales than what we're paying them. And then after the commissions, we end up hopefully writing everybody a nice check. So people get, a weekly salary every single week, and as well as they get a check at the end of the month, hopefully.
Do you have ways where people can ramp up, I guess, how much they make in terms of the splits with more time, with the company and with certain metrics hit? And also, do you have incentives beyond that, like sales contests or trips that you give out to employees?
We've tried all that, but to manage that is literally very, very, very difficult because, some people, we've had a sales contest where people write up even fake accounts, just to try to win these things. So what we do is we motivate them by trying to get them out there, finding customers, finding new customers, and that's really the way that everybody gets paid at the company.
Ross, yeah. This is Jack, and I apologize to interrupt you. We only have like a minute and a half left. Ross, is there anything that I didn't cover that you want to tell people, young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who are starting a business today?
What I would say is that you just got to stay positive. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to work hard. And if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean that the world's over. You just have to have a great attitude. Attitude is basically everything in sales, and you got to work with people you like. Most importantly, put around good people, and the money will come. They'll make money, and when they make money, the company makes money. So that's the number one thing I could say.
That's a good thing. Ross, what's the website address for Dependable Packaging Solutions? If anyone needs any packaging supplies, I'd like to give you a little plug.
That would be amazing. So the website is www.buy, which is B-U-Y, Boy, Universe, Yes, and DPS. P is in dog, P is in Paul, S is in Sam.
And are you guys currently, do I want to say, if anyone is a great salesman, likes people, or saleswoman, I don't mean to discriminate there, a salesperson, are you guys hiring?
Very open-minded, absolutely. We talk to everybody. Anybody who's interested, 100% will sit down with me, and there's tons of opportunities. And I have certain people that work for me that just have one relationship. Let's say their family member works at Pepsi, and they have an in, so they'll come to me, discuss the opportunity with me. They might have one account, but it's like an annuity because it could put $2,000 to $3,000 plus in their pocket every month, and that's aside from all their other businesses.
Gotcha. So in other words, they could reach out and cover a territory or have a specific.
No, he's saying you don't even need to technically work for his company.
I understand. If you have an in, like I happen to have an in at the morgue, so we could do boxes for the morgue. No, I'm joking around with that. No, I understand. In other words, if I come with one client, in other words, if I can get Amazon or one big client, I could technically work for Ross.
That's right.
As long as I'm bringing in business.
And working for Ross is the best. I mean, he's such a great guy, so, you would want to do that. A little Ross in your life goes a long way.
Gotcha.
We've had a lot of fun together.
Ross, I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy in California. Thank you very much. We'll have to have you back on. Again, you're inspiring, and your story's inspiring. And sorry to cut this short, but
and the last thing that I would like to say is, and Todd knows a lot about it, is we're writing a tell-all book about life and and motivation and what I've been through as in my life. I have a mother who's obsessive. I have a father who side of the family that's ADD. So you put those two together, and you pretty much have like a toxic problem. And through all that, I've been able to fight through it and build one of the best businesses in South Florida, and we're going to the moon.
Dependable Packaging Solutions. Look them up online. Ross, thank you very much, and enjoy California.
Best of luck with everything, Ross. Thanks for coming.
We'll be back in two minutes.
For every Thursday. I'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Thanks, Ross. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
You guys are great.
Awesome.
Bye.
We will be right back.
Are you tired of dealing with unreliable banks and brokers who charge upfront fees and never deliver on their promises? You don't have to. Gelt Financial Corporation has been in business since 1989 and offers a stated income loan program for non-owner-occupied residential and commercial real estate investors. No tax returns required. What are you waiting for? Call Gelt Financial right now at 561-221-0900. Again, that's 561-221-0900. 561-221-0900.
Did you invest in a non-liquid real estate partnership? Do you want and need liquidity? There's finally an answer. Quick Liquidity is a direct buyer of real estate minority interest and tenants in common investments across the country. To find out if we would buy your non-liquid investment, call us at 561-221-0881 or visit us at quickliquidity.com. That's quickliquidity.com.
Welcome back to It's Down to Business with Jack Miller. Call us at 305-541-2350. Follow us on Facebook at Jack Miller Down to Business or on Twitter at HJackMiller1.
Hello, everyone. This is Jack Miller at Down to Business. Thank you for joining us. We're here with Todd Cohen. Todd, I don't know about you, but I am deeply inspired by the conversation with Ross.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're looking for. He's the salt of the earth. He went in there and grabbed the world by its bootstrings, started a company by himself with a friend of his, had an idea, had goals, and really put a plan into action and has brought a company. I mean,
a major company.
I don't know exactly, but I'm sure it's, I'm sure they're pulling in revenues toward $50 million a year or something like that with that company, maybe more.
Yeah, I don't want to say on the air, but he told me, and it wasn't on the air, but it's big revenues, very successful company. And what I think is inspiring, how he openly talked about the challenges he's faced in his personal life and in the business life and how he's overcome them.
That's right. He's very open. He's very honest. He's well-spoken. He knows his story. He knows how to get from point A to point B. It's very, he orchestrates the whole thing, and you could tell. I mean, he knows what he's doing, and it's amazing, frankly.
No, I agree. Ross is a great guy, and I definitely want to have him on again. And I think it's inspiring because people think today it's hard. It is hard to be in business. There's no question it's hard, but they think it's impossible. And he proved it wrong. You can start a business, and he employs a lot of people. But what was interesting, I liked you. You segmented it a little bit. Is in the warehouse business in real estate. I think a lot of people don't realize in real estate when you have specialized businesses like his businesses where you need warehouses and loading trucks that the real estate requirements are specific. The loading dock size, the ceiling heights.
You caught my subtle segue that I made into the real estate world with him.
I caught it and I loved it. I just loved it. It got me very excited.
I mean, we all know what we know, and we all like to talk about those type of things. And frankly, real estate is a huge part of most businesses. So whether they're actively involved in the real estate themselves or whether it's just a large check that they have to write every month to have the real estate that they operate out of, real estate is vital to every business.
Yeah. Talk a minute about in the warehousing and industrial space how the ceiling heights mean a lot to the value of the building because that determines really who can go in there and who can't.
Well, and he started talking about the efficiencies. I mean, the higher you can pile things up on the racks inside of your warehouse, the more bang for your buck, so to speak, you can get. Because if you can put more merchandise in a smaller amount of square footage, basically you're increasing your revenue stream. And he talked about that. He discussed on air, Ross, that is, discussed the challenges that he has with getting enough things into his warehouse and then out because – part of a distribution business is you're bringing stuff in and then you're moving it out, but you need to make room for the stuff you're bringing in. And if all of a sudden someone stops ordering or something gets backed, there's bottlenecks that happen and you end up with too much merchandise and you have no room in your warehouse floor. So the more room you have vertically to put stuff, to rack stuff, the better off you are, and you don't have to spend that much money for it because people pay on a per square foot basis.
Sort of like Costco. When you go to Costco, they stack it up.
It's efficiencies. It's all about efficiencies.
Todd, I have to tell you, I've seen you you're super excited about this. I love it.
I'm selling a huge warehouse deal right now, and all of the tenants in this warehouse property probably could use Ross or do use Ross or someone like Ross for their warehouse needs.
So, again, ceiling heights are critical. Loading docks?
That's right. And there's two primary kinds of loading docks. There's the dock high, where the truck could just back right up and unload at the dock. And then there's what's called roll-up doors, where, a lot of times they're used for smaller trucks or hand carts from the larger trucks, but the door just rolls up like your garage door does, and you drive it on in or you bring it on in on a cart.
Companies can actually buy the site selection, and by going to a guy like you, can really save money in their operational business. And Ross was a great, testament to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. And look, when you do any work in the real estate world or what Ross does, you really get introduced to a whole underbelly of business that you don't really know too much about. I mean, how merchandise gets distributed from point A to point B and then even to point C, how things get manufactured, where they get manufactured and then distributed to the middleman a lot of times and then to the end seller like a Target or a Walmart. You don't really know what goes into all of that until you see these various warehouses of all different sizes and shapes all over the country that are really doing this blue-collar work that sort of gets the gears of our, the economy going. And it's amazing to see it and to see all of the businesses and types of businesses that are run out of these places.
Some of them are pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, we have to break, Todd. We have a minute left. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd like to give my contact information because I'm still waiting for that call from the whale one day who's going to call me up and say I have 20 shopping centers to sell with you. I hang my hat on that hope, but here's my number, 786-522-7021. My name is Todd Cohen. I'm with Marcus & Millichap. Full-service advisory and real estate brokerage firm. I can help you with buying real estate, selling real estate, financing for commercial real estate, and for exchanging a 1031 exchange tax-free.
Todd, thank you very much. You were great as always. And by the way, Todd recommended Ross. Great recommendation.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having him. Great show. Look us up on iTunes. Look us up on Facebook, Twitter, wherever the internet goes. And we'll have to. I promise you guys, Rodney Dangerfield jokes. I apologize, I didn't get to it this week.
We get no respect here.
No respect.
Well, look, we have podcasts. Take them with you.
Check us out on podcasts. We got to go, everyone. Have a great week.
We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to tune in next Thursday at 3 o'clock on 880 The Biz. If you want to send in your questions, comments, or ideas for shows, please email Jack Miller at geltfinancial.com. Follow us on Facebook at Jack Miller Down to Business or on Twitter at HJackMiller1.
You got to turn